This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
Spooky, scary Bobsheaux, we're creepy, eerie pros. It's time for some of the worst movies and TV shows. Spooky, scary Bobsheaux, dribble, junk, and tripe. Maybe even a treat or two if you believe the hype. We're so sorry, cinema, but have you any pride? If you wanted to be good, then you should have tried. Spooky, scary Bobsheaux for entertaining you. We will make you laugh and scream, so just relax and boom!
You'll know that I am called the Count, because I really love to count.
Hey guys, it's the most wonderful time of the year. No, not Christmas, Halloween. And we're going to kick things off by talking about the original vampire, the Prince of Darkness himself, the one, the only, Dracula. More specifically, we're covering a movie called Dear Dracula. The book on which it's based tells the story of a little boy named Sam who is enamored by the infamous Count, and he writes him a letter to ask him if he can turn him into a vampire himself. Dracula shows him the ins and outs of being a vampire, and despite Sam ultimately changing his mind on the matter, the two of them remain friends when Dracula would be perfectly justified in eating this little waste of time. If you're a fan of the book, then I apologize because the movie that we are about to see, it is not the same thing. Right off the bat, you know we're in trouble as the logo for Arc Entertainment flies into frame. You might remember them as the people who brought us that delightful holiday classic, Frozen in Time. And if you don't remember it, then I'm jealous of your ability to suppress terrible memories. We open on Sam and his grandmother watching old horror movies on the day before Halloween, when a commercial for the latest Dracula action figure starts playing.
Victim ready, spring-like fangs, and lifelike coffin made from real Transylvanian wood. Not made from real wood. Don't be frightened!
Hypnotic spinning eyes, spring-loaded fangs, oh, I gotta have that!
In what twisted world is Dracula action figure material?
Isn't that a Dracula action figure on your desk back there?
No, this is a Dracula Transformer. That's different. I mean, sure, Dracula is always going to be a facet of popular culture. He's not going away anytime soon. But he hasn't been hip with the kids since, I don't know, since his original movie came out in 1931. It makes sense in the book when Sam sees a Dracula figure on display in the window of his local toy store, though one might think a comic book shop would be more appropriate for something this niche. But on TV? When was Dracula this mainstream?
Grounds, did you see that, did you? Without the fangs, Sam, I can't understand a thing you're saying.
Did you see that?
Oh, I saw it all right. That's the creepiest doll I've ever seen.
Good. Let's keep it that way and spare you the misery of the Robert movies. By the way, I have no idea why they didn't even attempt to make the animation look like the original illustrations from the comic. For a story as strange and off-kilter as that of a little boy wanting Count Dracula to make him into a vampire, don't you want a strange and off-kilter aesthetic to complement it? If I were Vinnie Navarrete, the illustrator, I'd be feeling pretty ripped off right now. Sam has to get this Dracula figure. Grandma suggests that he asks Santa Claus to bring him one for Christmas, but Sam's pet spider, Weber, gives him an idea.
Christmas is so far away. But Halloween is just around the corner.
Why is the spider talking in puppy growls?
Because he comes from that very unique species called Theraphosidae cinemata, or movie spider. He looks like a tarantula, except he spins webs, he talks.
He shoots webs like Spider-Man?
Exactly. But yeah, Weber here somehow gives Sam the idea to write Count Dracula to ask if he can give him the figure. Because if Count friggin' Dracula is known for anything, it's fulfilling the hopes and dreams of small children. We find the Count doing what he does best, scaring his little manservant, Myro. The comic had enough faith in the intelligence of its readers to presume that they'd recognize the name Renfield, but in this story, his servant's name is Myro. I don't get it.
ridiculous. How am I supposed to maintain that you need to keep giving these movies a chance when they're so stupid they make me want to quit? Is this seriously how Count Dracula spends his day? Throwing around jump scares? Dracula's supposed to be scary because he'll kill you and maybe even turn you into an unholy demon of the night, not because he spends all day jumping around the corner. You have offended Vlad Dracul. You have offended Bela Lugosi. You have offended Christopher Lee and every other actor to play Dracula, which is a lot. Generations are disappointed in you, sir.
I love you.
You'd better.
No more, Master. You're killing me. Killing me, I tell you.
You're too kind, Myro.
Good grief, even Dracula himself knows he's a joke. By the way, that's Ray Liotta playing Dracula. Not that you'd be able to tell, since he's doing the same stereotypical Lugosi knockoff voice that everyone does. This big star power is completely meaningless.
There was a time when everyone would shudder when my name was spoken. But today, the younger generation don't find me scary.
Jack Skellington needs to worry about being scary. Pre-laughter scare harvesters for Monsters Incorporated need to worry about being scary. All that you're supposed to concern yourself with is sucking people dry and leaving their empty husks.
Today, the young ones are more afraid of faceless goons with chainsaws.
Ray Liotta can't even hang on to his accent. Sounds like he's dipping into Christopher Walken.
Myro, I've got to have more cowbla. The mailman comes with Sam's letter, and he's every bit as terrified as someone should be when visiting Dracula. If you want to tell us that the world isn't afraid of Dracula anymore, have this mailman be bored, not on the verge of wetting his pants. But then again, it does make sense that the world would be less afraid of a Dracula who turns into a flying fox. Did you have to make him look cute?
Easy, Gus. Easy. You can do this.
Is that Matthew Lillard playing the mailman?
Uh-huh. And more specifically, they wrote him to be exactly like Shaggy. Like, you got this, Scoob!
The delivery for Count Dracula?
Not exactly as I planned, but still, I scared him good.
Yes, Master. You certainly did. And look, Master, we have mail. Fan mail.
We just got a letter, we just got a letter, we just got a letter, wonder who it's from, blah! So he reads the letter and decides to visit Sam.
Forgive me, Master.
Myro, pack your bags.
But, Master, I said sorry. Please don't fire me.
You're more afraid of Dracula firing you than eating you? Damn, this Dracula has lost his touch. After telling Myro to pack some fresh dirt for their trip to America, a detail that I'm really surprised was included. You'd think a movie this dumb would just have him pack his coffin, since that's what every bad adaptation of Dracula says a vampire needs to sleep in. We jump back to Sam, who's setting up his Halloween cemetery. On the day of Halloween. If we're assuming that you're a real Halloween freak and you're setting up the cemetery as early as you're able to, then Grandma's kind of a bitch for keeping you from doing it for so long.
What do you think, Weber? Yeah, you're right. I think it needs a spider web.
He's a spider! It needs a spider web is his answer to everything! But oh no, Sam's peers come by and start making fun of him because he's weird?
Look, it's that weirdo Sam.
Anyone whose face is 50% eyeball is in no position to call anyone weirdo. Yikes.
Cut it out, Nicole.
Which one of us is Nicole? This cute? Little red-haired girl Emma invites Sam to her Halloween parties tonight, but her friends are keen to point out that...
That dude's beyond creepy.
Is he, though? Sam doesn't dress any darker than his peers. He only has a couple of tombstones, and he doesn't know how to place them all. He has to rely on Weber for decorating advice, and this is a world where Count Dracula is such a facet of popular culture that they have TV commercials for the latest Dracula action figure. This kid may have the cringe, but he's a bit lacking in fringe. Sam and Graham are just sitting down to their annual monster movie marathon when Dracula and Myro show up on their front step.
Good evening, madam.
Dracula's doing the classic Nosferatu coffin rise, suggesting that these animators have seen Nosferatu. Would it really be so difficult to give him long, pointy Nosferatu fingers? Why are they flat? None of the other characters have flat fingers, so it's not like he's conforming to any particular aesthetic. Did he actually have the longer fingers at some point and they were chopped off? And why is his cape so tiny? Did he get it at Walmart?
Well, whatever you're selling, I'm not buying. Get off my property, you hoodlums!
Look into my eyes. You are under my spell.
I am under your spell.
It occurs to me that maybe I should have opened with this, blah. Of course, he tells Grandma to invite him in. Again, make me wonder why the invitation-only thing is such a problem for vampires when it should be this easy to work around. He makes a big, flashy entrance like he's a children's entertainer, and Sam is thrilled to meet him.
I know you wanted a toy doll, but I brought something better. The real Dracula.
In the comic, Sam wrote Dracula about his original intention for asking for the Dracula action figure, but then he changed his mind and asked about becoming a real vampire instead. In the movie, Sam just asks for the toy. Sam's kind of dumb.
And Dracula decides to visit Sam out of the goodness of his heart? Ew.
Sam invites his new friend to watch scary movies with him, and he gives Dracula... Really? A cherry Coke? Dracula's #1 fan is offering him cherry Coke? Pop quiz for all the non-Dracula fans out there. What does Count Dracula consume to maintain his existence?
Blood.
That's right! Count Dracula drinks blood. Offer the man a baby or something!
You are damaged!
I just know what he likes. Also, I love how we don't see the labels on these soda cans, but there are barcodes that suggest they actually would have labels on them.
I took the label off this, because I don't want any problems.
That's one way.
What was that? Did that come from me?
I don't know or care what vampirism does to one's anatomy. You cannot expect me to believe that Dracula just forgot about burping. Ew, that is so nasty, I love it. Their movie marathon begins with Demons Till Dusk.
Oh, Edmund, you will be mine someday.
So, what did you think, Count?
I think that a movie called Demons Till Dusk should be more of a ripoff of From Dusk Till Dawn. We're really ripping on the low-hanging fruit that is Twilight a whole 7 years after the book first came out. Come on, movie. And again, one of the key principles of animation is exaggeration. Dracula needs to be way more mortified than this.
Like when you saw Transformers in the movie theater for the first time.
Yes, just like that.
Sir, just ask yourself, what would Jesus do?
The only real lead we have so far is this sound.
Bumblebee, stop lubricating the man.
Get that thing to stop, huh?
This dramatic flashback brought to you by Rob's Backstage Popcorn. Rob's Backstage Popcorn for when you want backstage access to horrible memories.
That was rubbish! Absolute hogwash! Vampires aren't pretty boys that sparkle in the sun. Real vampires burn and crumble into dust when exposed to daylight.
Okay, but this is what scares kids today.
No, it isn't! And why are we watching this Twilight knockoff anyway? Why aren't you showing him Dracula movies? Is this really part of your annual monster movie tradition? Frickin' Twilight? Turn in your Halloween nerd badge, sir. You do not deserve the title. By the way, the time is now 12:20 a.m. Were they watching the entire saga before Dracula objected? Thanks for ruining Halloween, Sam. Happy All Saints Day, everyone! Determined to get some real scares, Dracula steps out into the neighborhood, which is still seeing plenty of trick-or-treaters despite it being after midnight. And true to this movie's stupid premise, the kids don't find him scary, and Dracula does nothing to give them a more informed opinion.
Not scary.
Yeah? Well, boring old vampires aren't scary either. They're lame.
Take a nice big bite out of that little twerp, and remind him why vampires are scary! Sam says that'll help Dracula get his groove back, but not before they bump into Emma again.
So, have you decided if you're coming to my party later?
I don't know. Your friends seem like, you know.
Bitches. The word you're looking for is bitches.
Sam, I don't understand. You're more afraid of some kids than you are of me, the scariest creature to ever roam the earth. How can that be?
Look, everyone thinks I'm strange. Let's face it, I'll never be one of the cool kids.
Since when were you trying to be one of the cool kids? The cool kids suck. You're allegedly the weird Halloween kid because you know the cool kids suck. Be the weird Halloween kid. It might turn out okay. So they get home and begin Dracula's training montage.
Are you ready?
Sir, yes, sir!
Now, tell me what you see when you look in the mirror.
What is he supposed to see? Self-proclaimed #1 Dracula fan? Somehow, performing the same old tricks that no one thinks is scary anymore suddenly become scary again when they're performed in succession. I don't know, just roll with it. And I guess that montage only took a few seconds of real time, too. And Dracula has a few new tips for helping Sam with his confidence issues.
It's just a party. I didn't say I was going.
What? Of course you're going! And you're going to show Emma that you're worthy of her friendship.
But I don't have a costume.
What?
I don't have a costume.
The Halloween kid. Dracula's biggest fan. The horror film enthusiast. The kid who always has a set of fangs on standby. Doesn't have a costume?
Bullshit! What you need is a crash course on how to fit in. Sam, tell me what makes you, you.
Well, I'm a little odd, I suppose. You know, like, misunderstood.
Oh, shut up. Occasionally watching a vampire movie on Halloween does not make you the neighborhood misfit.
You say odd and misunderstood, where I would say bold or independent and not afraid to be yourself. What else?
Let's see. I'm a monster movie geek.
Said the kid who spent his Halloween watching Twilight.
I'm a monster movie geek.
Okay, now turn that into a positive.
I'm a classic horror movie enthusiast?
Name one. Name me one classic horror film that isn't just the name of some famous monster. I dare you!
Try aficionado instead.
I'm a classic horror movie aficionado. Hey!
You see, with a fresh perspective, you've gone from being a boring, alienated kid to the most interesting guy in the whole town.
Really? That's all it takes? Who knew that the secret to social success is taking everything that makes you weird and just wording it differently? No, I'm not a 30-something-year-old man who collects toy robots. I'm just in touch with my inner mechaphile. They spend another stretch of impossibly little time making Sam the costume he should have had weeks ago. So far, we've had a monster movie marathon, a workout montage, and now the creation of a custom costume. Were these filmmakers under the impression that Halloween lasts several days? Then again, I suppose making Sam look like roadkill wouldn't take too much time. Also, you have Dracula's manservant sharing the screen with a spider, but he doesn't try to eat it, resulting in comical hijinks? I've never seen a Dracula movie suck so hard at Dracula-ing.
Everything is coming together so nicely on this Halloween Eve.
Halloween Eve? So it's actually October 30th now?
Ready, everyone? 1, 2, 3!
Oh, Master, look. Look.
Ah, now it's Halloween.
So, Weber spins fine works of art with his webs. And they're electric?
Lucas ain't got shit on Weber.
And it makes sense for Weber to welcome their new guests by drawing Dracula and Myro into the web. But Emma's in there too? Again, I have to ask, why are so many movie pets so emotionally invested in their master's love lives?
Oh boy, fresh victims!
Well, it makes more sense as to why no one in this world would think Dracula is scary. How can anyone be scarier than this thing? Princess Potato, give me some candy!
Scared you, didn't I? Yes? I knew it! The Count is back!
Yes, very good. The Count is back. Now please go away. They go to Emma's party, which is being attended by grown-up Harry Potter, some Voltron-looking kid, an owl. You don't have any friends. What are you doing here? Jason Voorhees, who's gonna murder them all, and the Yeti things from An Abominable Christmas. You think you're so clever, don't you, Arc Entertainment?
Cool costume.
Thanks. What are you supposed to be?
I know this is your house and your party, but go home, Emma. Sam and Emma get to talking, and it turns out that she likes classic horror movies, too.
Most people think it's weird for a girl to like horror films, but there's just something about the classics.
And that's literally all that they say about it. They could talk about the tragedy of Bela Lugosi's amazing performance as Dracula, all but dooming his acting career, or the irony of the underappreciated horror genre giving rise to one of the greatest sequels ever made, or they could joke about how the very first cinematic universe isn't very cohesive as a cinematic universe, but no, just mention how the ratio of female horror fans to male horror fans is a little off and nothing else, since apparently all you want is some kind of machine to rage against. And hooray! Dracula wins the costume contest for scariest costume, even though he hasn't put his newly invigorated scaring into practice at all at this party. So all's well that ends well as Dracula and Sam say their goodbyes.
Do you want me to help you with your coffin?
The coffin? No, keep it. You never know when I'll be back.
You know, most crappy adaptations of Dracula think it's just the coffin that Dracula sleeps in, but again, I need to point out that this movie made sure to mention that it's actually his home soil that he needs.
Pull out my travel coffin and put some fresh dirt in it.
But now he's just taking a cab and leaving his coffin and soil behind? Keep the coffin, I'll just hitchhike across America, blah. And yeah, you never know when I'll be back. Sequel hooks, you know I love them.
And the gods shall hear your joke, and they shall bestow upon the world a sequel, and there shall be much rejoicing.
Yay. And in case you're wondering, I have no idea why the cab is suddenly so small. Maybe it's a clown car dressed up as a cab for Halloween?
Myro, why don't you take the cab?
Yes, master.
And how does that setup not result in Myro just lifting the cab over his head and walking off with it?
And I guess he's taking a cab all the way back to Transylvania?
I guess. It's not like we ever saw them take a plane to America. Oh my god! They could have taken a schooner like in the original novel and kill everyone on board!
No, they can't do that. Too dark.
If you're afraid of doing dark, then maybe you shouldn't do Dracula! So that was Dear Dracula, and it needs to return to sender. The animation's bland, the voice acting is uninspired, the idea of Dracula being more concerned with his image than terrorizing the world with his bloodlust is insulting, and the deviations from the original story are nothing but cliched padding. It's not like the comic was an Eisner Award-winning narrative, but it was a simple story of two friends finding each other, and they decided to remain friends despite what most would consider irreconcilable differences. Surely there's enough potential for a 42-minute movie in that. We didn't need all this nonsense of Dracula regaining his scary mojo that was somehow lost in between his slaughtering hundreds of people through the ages, nor did we need a love story that's probably just going to fall apart in a few weeks.
This was so disappointing, and I didn't even have any expectations.
Continue leaving your not expectations at the door, because it's only going to get worse from here. See you later.
You know that I am called the Count, because I really love to. Sometimes I sit and all day, but sometimes I get carried away. I slowly getting faster once I start in. It's very hard to stop. Hey, faster, faster, it is so exciting. I could forever until I drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I love whatever the amount. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. That's the song of the count. I the spiders on the wall. I the cobwebs in the hall. I the candles on the shelf. When I'm alone, I myself. Oh yeah, I slowly, slowly, slowly getting faster. Once I start it's very hard to stop. Faster, faster, it is so exciting. I could forever until I drop. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I love whatever the amount. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. That's the song. Oh, the count. Hey.
No, this is a Dracula Transformer. That's different. With the addition of the repro labels here, the little stickers that give it that little bit more extra pop, and the upgraded sword/scythe things, as well as the posable cape that was not included with the original figure, this does make it more of a collectible. So yeah.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch more.